YouTube not live? Oh no, that's so bad. So we wasted now 10 minutes of not being live on YouTube. That's sad. Okay, this seems to be indeed twice the square root of n. So this is square root of n. Hello YouTube, update to everybody. I went through the first category here in the blog, linked in the description, and listed down which topics I know and which I don't, and I got 40%. I know 40% of this. Thank you, Algorithmy Bear, for letting me know about YouTube not working. Do I really read blogs from your favorites? Add them to favorite. So, Peltorator, sometimes I go through them, for example, during the streams. It helps. And so I treat favorites as a to-do, like, a little bit like note-taking app. And I don't mind that they are in random order. Can you tell more about this test? You mean what? Like here I just checked how many operations it takes. And I will not talk about the solution. He loops over all values of floor of n over k. Yeah, but I would do it by iterating out to square root and figuring out some formula for how many numbers, like what this contributes and how many numbers will give us this floor. This for loop is very not counterintuitive for me. I know how to do it in square root, just not like that. So I don't like it. I would just either erase this row. Where was that? I don't see it. What's the code? Sum of floors. So, this. Okay. I would just remove this row, or I would find some post at least to say iterate over values from 1 to square root. For each of them, count how many times this appears as a floor. You want to get to 80% of math? You will be very good at math, that's it. Iterates for all the segments of equal floors. Okay, I see. Still, I don't like a magic for loop. I prefer for loop to be simple, and what inside of for loop is more complicated. This is some extended GCD. Integer lattice points. Oh, I think I needed to solve such a problem once. This is the recent thing, right? Recently, for the first time, I've seen a name min25, so it must be important. Like there was a block in Codeforces just a few days ago. So I think, but okay, then it's free. Maybe what I need is go through all the ones and learn everything that I don't know. Brett, the performance in competitions doesn't depend just on math knowledge. Those topics, you will not encounter any problem below, let's say, 2500 difficulty that requires those, very difficult topics, like let's say this determinant of sparse matrix. In Codeforces, it can only appear as maybe the last division 1 problem, and even then, it should be part of a solution, not just knowing something from math. So math knowledge of heavy math topics isn't that correlated to competition performance. I wonder how people should use this. So chat, tell me what's the What do you think should be a way to use this list? Should it be find anything of difficulty 1 that you don't know yet? Codeforces contest just checked if we know maths. That happens. It's more rare in Codeforces. LCM of Fibonacci numbers. What can you say about divisors of Fibonacci numbers? I have no idea. That being said, this is a problem, not a technique, is it? I don't know. I don't like some of the entries. But for sure it's good that there is a list of like, such things. Like you should know that there is 0, 1 BFS. Nope. And I think the topic list should be unhidden right now. The author posted in spoiler tags but I think it's less convenient and everything is blue. Doesn't have bridges and articulation points. So you're saying that this is not complete? The editorial explains the technique. Yeah, but we're talking about Fibonacci, right? The editorial explains solution to a problem. It's hard for me to believe that this is a technique useful in other problems. Incremental SCC sounds like strongly connected components if you keep adding new edges. Makes sense. Then you need to pull many nodes into one. Articulation, bridges, and bridge tree. Isn't that articulation points and bridges? Sounds like short. I don't know if articulation bridges is something else from articulation points and bridges. I'm not good at graphs, so many of that I wouldn't know. Well, I know Manhattan MST, for example, even though it's third difficulty. Dijkstra algorithm, Dijkstra segment tree. Is that legacy problem? Yeah, legacy. Very good problem. But then, again, good problem. I don't know if this should be called a technique. What is time complexity of this solution? Because this can be done in single logarithm, not in log squared. But by default, the editorial describes log squared. Right, this seems to be a standard Dijkstra. What's going on? Where do we run update? Oh, I remember, because this legacy problem, it's not... I see. So first of all, a legacy problem can be harder. It can have edges also from intervals to intervals. That's first thing. And the other is that here, I think because of the number of edges, this is log squared. So this solution isn't optimal, if I understand correctly. Just to clarify things, you don't need a lot of knowledge to perform well in contests. Every high red person will tell you that. You can get to high red with knowing, without knowing half the stuff that is here. You can get legendary grandmaster, so Nutella level, without knowing half the stuff here. But just a lot of this is just solution to a single problem that you will eventually encounter, and you either solve it or not. If not, you will encounter it in the editorial. That's it, you know it. I don't know SPFA. Shortest something paths. And cycle detection is always difficult. You need to think not to mess it up. I still don't know if we require like 3 colors for cycle detection. FreeSat. What is FreeSat? FreeSat? FreeSat is exponential, right? So what is that? Oh yeah, here it says. Good. I was confused. Yeah. A lot of... I've seen this name. I haven't seen this one. I still need to learn flows properly. Level 1 problem for competitive programming. Yeah. It's funny. It would be funny if such a block in particular included as one line polynomial solution for FreeSat, and this is what the author meant with I spent 4 years for this. Like really, there is a lot of stuff, yeah, great, but in particular he solved P is equal to NP. So a lot of graphs. Now there should be a block to walk you through this block. Also like here, those are of level 1. You can get so high with just knowing segment tree. Basic segment tree is very common, and it makes BIT like obsolete. And you should just know segment tree, sorting, binary search, and you already can solve most of the problems. 48-hour video explaining all the topics. I think you would need more time than that. Maybe even a Twitch stream. Maybe even that. Nine new messages. I used to have 11. But by mistake, I opened some new conversation with a person who apparently messaged me years ago. So I've read 2 messages by coincidence. I know reachability tree. I'm happy here knowing some topic that maybe I shouldn't know. Persistent queue. Do I know persistent queue? Or do I know it? Am I able to implement persistent queue? I guess if I can implement a persistent array, then a huge array can include a queue, right? No. Nobody knows persistent queue, but queue can be just, if you have a big enough array, then queue will be some part of it, like an interval going through. So doesn't it boil down to persistent array then? I don't know linkage. Category strings. I'm skipping this one. DP. Okay. How much stuff here? I don't know. Persistent convex hull trick. What do you mean persistent convex hull trick? So just does it boil down to persistent convex hull? Can I do persistent convex hull? I know how to do fully online convex hull. Does it help? So I can build a segment tree of convex hull. I would try to approach persistent convex hull in the same way. This seems to be very short. How do you fit persistency here? Persistent stack with binary liftings. Okay. Well, because I see. So because convex hull trick is not really about a full convex hull, it's just about this stack thing. Police at my home. I think it's outside. My window is open and it's a big building. Extended Lichao. What is extended Lichao? I don't know if I ever used Lichao tree. I know what it does, but it's never needed. Knowing convex hull is enough. Range line insertion. Range sum addition. Range maximum query. I don't know. I would need to think. I know those. Substring DP, that's very vague. This, well, sure, I used prefix links many times. So I think I know that. This is one? All of that is one? I see. I see. Is there some... Okay, one is beginner. One is beginner. I think that the difficulty here is not well chosen. Solving more problems matters more than learning more topics. That's right. In particular, solving more problems makes you know topics anyway. 2200 and still haven't bothered learning any of the convex DP optimizations. Good. Learn if you encounter problems that require them. A lot of things are required if you want to excel at ICPC. I think that trying to get like a gold medal in ICPC finals, that requires more knowledge than becoming LGM in Codeforces. Because LGM in Convex you can get just by solving problems fast. You don't need to know things. Slope trick. What is slope trick? I know slope trick. I'm guessing from this drawing. Oh, it's piecewise linear function. Okay, so I know many problems that require this thing. I wouldn't call it a slope trick. x2 plus 1. I think this was mentioned in that blog where there are 16 ideas. Codeforces ideas. General ideas. Yeah, this thing. This is a very, very good blog for red people. If you want this, here's in the chat. I vaguely remember the +1 thing. Maybe not. Anything for gray people? I don't think so. I don't think that this is a good blog for gray people. Similarly, this is a good base of knowledge. I mean, those articles to CP algorithms or Emacs, but again, not for beginners. In particular, because you don't know what is easy and what is difficult here. So this seems to be bigger version of CP algorithms with some notation of difficulties, though, and this thing is smart because it links to other materials, not just here in CP algorithms. They needed to write everything from the scratch. For experts, I don't know names in Codeforces, but I think that this is amazing resource for Division 1 participants. That's what I would say. Because for Division 2, the best advice is solve easy problems. Everything not requiring knowledge. So I would say Division 1. I don't know what is Division 1 nowadays. 1900? You will get to Division 1 with just knowing, sorting, binary search, DFS, BFS, Dijkstra, which is like what? First 3 algorithms in the graphs category. Well, then there's DSU, stuff like that, but you will be overwhelmed by this list, I would say. So what is x2 + 1 trick? Oh, I see. This is another blog from 5 years ago that I think is very valuable. And I remembered the +1 thing from this one. I've once read this. I don't know if I still know it. If it's in my start blogs, then I think I still wanted to read this again to make sure that I understand it. Bitmask DP. I wonder if this list is sorted by anything. Shouldn't within one category everything be sorted by difficulty? I saw earlier that polynomials are next to each other, but maybe it wouldn't hurt to sort by difficulty 1, then 2, then 3. That might be better than the current look. Geometry. Hacker Cup, yes, I participated. I even have a video on this second channel, on Eric Totu YouTube channel. I should know most of that. Ray intersection, sure I can do that. But what is the resource? I see, so resource of everything will be this thing. I didn't read this book. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Yes, same resource link. But then, what's the point of that, right? You can as well just link a book and say, go look at the list of topics. And now, finally, we have some other links. Pick's theorem. It's good to know. I don't know what is vertical decomposition. Maximum area of a triangle from given lengths. Do I know that? I think it's very easy to mess this up. Given the max distance between points is very easy to mess up on a convex hull. What's that? Oh, given our lengths. Oh, I see, not given points. All right, okay. So it's completely different from what I thought. But then, again, I would remove this. This is a problem. This is not a technique. Finding maximum area triangle among given endpoints, that seems to be similar to other problems, like, you know, maybe this maximum distance between 2 points. You need to know that. That's a very important problem to solve. But this, why is this an entry here? Are we solving some problems? No. I'm going through this list, the ultimate topic list with resources, problems, and templates, and commenting on it. Green Hackenbush on trees and graphs. Why is this first and not just basic numbers? Well, this should be a problem, not a resource. And for sure it's not the most basic one. What's going on here? Okay, so this category is messed up, I think. Like the first thing should be Grundy. And then Hackenbushes are extremely rare. You need to know Grundy numbers, so numbers, and you need to know, you need to then practice them on a bunch of problems, and that's basically it. Then there is also complicated stuff like multiplying them, but you know. Okay, but this I can understand. This on a list, I cannot understand that thing because it's just a problem, not a technique. Well, this is knowledge indeed. Big integers, 2 pointers, binary search. This is important. This is something that beginners should learn. Ternary search. What is the tutorial for ternary search? This is a... So I don't like Master's theorem, I never use it. And also for integers, it's better to ask in the middle and ask about this position +1. Not just at, you know, not at 1/3 and 2/3. I don't like the tutorial. Parallel binary search, yes, important. Difficult but important. Josephus problem. I don't know why this is so common, like this technique. Like even here, I don't know why this is a block. It's one single problem. Why do people say that this is some algorithm that you should know? Is it CP algorithms? This is CP algorithms, but this is a block in Codeforces with links to a bunch of stuff. Ternary search is binary search on difference array? Exactly. Because of Hallin book? Why? You mean the competitive programming 3? So because of that, the Josephus problem is well known, or what? Gray code. Okay. Balanced brackets. That's very important. Also, what's the logic? Like if I open a new card, why does it open in the middle? Okay, here's the theory. It opens just after the most recent tab I clicked. No. Maybe also the the website matters. CP algorithms, Codeforces, no. So why this thing? Oh, I see, it opens after the last one opened from here with this click. I see. So those apparently I clicked in a different way. Right. Bishop placements, what's that? Again, how is that an algorithm? Also, is that in here? Yeah, that's a task. I think this list would be better. What did you press to close all the other tabs? Right click, close other tabs. There's also close tabs to the right. It's a topic there and was the most used book, so a lot of topics list at least take inspiration in topics inside the book. Oh, I see. So Halim said that this is an algorithm worth knowing, and now other people say, okay, it's an algorithm, it's worth talking about. Fine. But still, I claim this list can be improved. Maybe it should be trimmed down to like 300 entries by removing problems. Just make a separate list of problems that will teach you something, you know, like this list. Randomized algorithm. Yay, my blog. So I wonder how many blogs of mine are here. You know, there is this thing in them, when you write scientific papers, there is some score you can have. Like one is your distance to some dude, and the other is like the total number of quotes or so. So here our score in competitive programming should be the number of times you are quoted by this list. Miscellaneous. Maybe. But even here I wouldn't put, for example, bishop placement or Josephus problem. H index? Maybe. Yeah, I think I talked about something like that. So the H index in Codeforces should be maybe the number of times you're linked here. And I'm linked at least 3 times. That's something. DSU is the same as find and union, yes. If you know find and union, that's enough. RDOS number. Okay, that's also, that seems important too. It's RDOS number or H index. Now, what's this? Such lists are extremely useful. In particular, you know, the fact that somebody links those. But I feel always then overwhelmed. So in this list, I found a link to, not this link. So we started from here. Oh, and because of spoilers, I need to scroll up again. In this list, where are we here? We found a link to useful blogs. And here we found a link to CSCS editorials. And then if you're interested in, let's say, DP, you click that. and you're finally given a block. I wonder if this is optimal, like, you know, for society, for the community. CSK, I saw your question already. So one good resource, list of resources, is this thing. You can check it out. It's very cool. I'm looking at it right now. And I don't have a list, you know, myself. You can use the stuff that I'm saying, and that's it. I still claim that what you should do is solve randomly problems, learn stuff that you encounter. So you will encounter all the stuff that is common. Let me refer to this. It would be so much better if Mike could create a section of Codeforces that will be serving the same purpose as this blog. Oh yeah, exactly. Like for a long time now. No, so there is the edu section, but it's for videos and it's for like well-prepared stuff. But some blogs are clearly so educational. I think there was already such a suggestion. I don't know if I saw that in Codeforces or I just saw some conversation in private chat. But in Edu tab, next to this pilot course that was actually created more than a year ago, there should be just here useful stuff. This Edu tab should be the most important tab in Codeforces. More than a year ago, yeah. Okay, back to checking out important links. So the list is long if it takes me, what, 55 minutes to scroll through the list and check out some of the stuff. Like, I didn't even read all the names one by one. So useful blogs is this thing. Crazy. Here at least there is a table with numbers. And here, how do you go through that? Is there a person who will save this page, this blog, and like they will remember that, oh, I got up to FFT, then next time I'm taking math note. It seems to be a bad thing that you don't know how to use those lists. I'm just thinking out loud, you know, what's optimal, what should be improved. Also, I keep saying, you know. I should avoid that. It's like people saying like a word, like a lot. Like, you know, use echo guide, you know that. Like that. Use echo guide. This is, I think, amazing, but I don't remember this layout. It used to be different. I think it's very high quality. Helpful extensions. Okay. It's the first time I see this. Codeforces predictor, I agree. Practice tracker. Isn't it? Okay, so one of those. Fine. I use something like that too. Like when, for example, a person asks me about private classes, what I do is I check their profile using this. I never remember a name. Visualizer. Yeah, this thing. Just to type your name here and see what problem difficulties you solve. Not this. This is important. And I treat this as something more important than your rating in Codeforces. To see your skills. Also, my graph isn't very... I'm not proud of this graph, but I do a lot of streams, so I solve a lot of easy problems. And for a long time, I was weaker than I am now. site like LeetCode. I'm not launching that anytime soon. I'm not working on it right now. List should be nested. Yeah, it should. So Pelterator is saying that if you want to find a useful blog that you remembered, instead of typing Codeforces name of a blog, you can search it here. I guess, yeah. But such a list should be more valuable than that. It shouldn't just simplify our searching. But certainly if I want to get better at DP, because I know most of these DP things, I can indeed kind of finish the category. Can you try Russian accent, my friend? Here you go. Restarting at color hard streams? Maybe. Alright. Stress testing. It's this thing. I need to redo my video on stress testing. It's a very valuable video, but I messed up the sound. That was good. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, enough of this list. It's 7 p.m. So like I have 15 more minutes. Let's grab some other block then. Purple Cranion said the annealing block is valuable. Do I want to read that? But then I would want to also practice it. I don't want to just read it. And that's a general thing. You shouldn't keep reading tutorials, keep watching videos, but you should practice a lot. So, and here, I don't think it would be valuable for me to just read this. I want to read divide and conquer block. This will be easy, and I don't need to implement it. Can you check this link? I'm scared of opening links. Oh, an awesome list? Yeah, I'm aware of this. Well, it's a very old blog, 6 years ago, so for sure some things are outdated. Like, I saw what platforms there, sites for practice. You know, CodeChef now I think is worth 3 stars. CS Academy, I know, they had nice problems. This was a very, very good blog. I don't know if it's still a good blog. They don't have me in YouTubers. Okay, it's a terrible blog. I don't recommend it. Let's close it. Why don't you compete in contests? To be honest, it's mainly because I don't have time, not because I don't want to compete. But in particular, for some reason, there were a lot of Codeforces rounds on Sundays, and I was just busy on Sunday afternoons and evenings. I had some stuff scheduled for many months in Sunday evenings. I don't know why that was the case. But if you go through recent Codeforces rounds, like here, really a lot of Division 1 contests were on Sunday evening. OP course? No, don't. Last thing of today, I will just see how they explained divide and conquer. And that's it. And this I'm not reading to learn. To learn divide and conquer, I'm reading to see how they explained it. So I would also be able to explain it nicely. By the way, the most difficult thing to explain, I believe, is dynamic programming. It's just so abstract. Yes, that's right. Upcoming rounds are not on Sundays for some reason. So I thought already that Codeforces tries to be consistent and just use Sundays, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But really, in past 3 months, Sundays were much more common than Saturdays for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe just coincidence. Do you mind explaining why? Why what? Sorry, the OOP? Yeah, OOP, you don't need OOP in competitive programming at all. If you want a link to this divide and conquer block I'm reading, it's this. They describe using merge sort. Indeed, merge sort is, a lot of people know it. Right? There will be quicksort and merge sort. What is more common? Among n-log n algorithms, do people know merge sort or quicksort? I'm not sure, but if merge sort, then indeed this is a good way to explain divide and conquer, so that's a good point. Use something that people already can do. When I explain dynamic programming, I often compare it to Dijkstra, because people already know Dijkstra, and Dijkstra is dynamic programming. They just didn't realize that when implementing Dijkstra. And Dijkstra indeed is very similar to DP. It works in the same way. You're looking at state and updating neighboring states. Master theorem. Boo. Oh, I shouldn't boo this. I personally don't find it very intuitive. Good. I'm quick to judge. Subtract 1 from subarray. Subtract x from value. Reduce everything to 0. Not an easy problem, is it? What are the constraints? Oh, n is small. I see. But divide and conquer will do it quickly? It's unusual to explain divide and conquer on an example with n up to 5000. Without master theorem, well, it's explained here. With a drawing. Every layer has time complexity of n. Median of medians. Okay, well, this for sure is better than median of medians. So they say, we greedily do this for the whole array. This is not divide and conquer. This is more like divide. I would say that this is a way to linearly sort a sequence. I don't like it. So here's an algorithm to linearly sort a sequence. Find the minimum element, then go to the left, go to the right, and do them separately. Well, then it lacks a step of merging, but we seem to do that. There is no conquer part here. It's just divide. What's the time complexity? I will just read this explanation of time complexity. Bound the height of the recursive tree and the amount of work we perform on each height. Yep. Yeah, 1 versus n minus 1. This should be a common knowledge for quicksort. Quicksort can be linear if you hit it incorrectly. Bottom-up merge sort easier to implement than top-down? To be honest, I don't distinguish between bottom-up and top-down. It's always hard for me to say which thing is used. Selection sort. Maybe. Yeah, more like that. But we actually break into two parts. How to split this up to n log n? I can do it with a segment tree or with a sort. I've seen way too many people doing divide without conquer. I don't know, I can't think of examples of that. What do I recommend for beginners? I have a video how to start with competitive programming. Solve easy problems, read Competitive Programmer's Handbook. That's it. I wonder how difficult this is to realize for people for whom recursion is not that easy. So I understand that some problems are difficult because you might not come up with a solution. It's tricky to come up with a solution. But it's harder for me to remember how difficult recursion was. And I'm always surprised when students ask me, hey, teacher, I actually don't understand this recursion thing. I don't know what it does. So maybe I also use something like this to explain the time complexity of divide and conquer, but now I wonder if this is the best thing. Or maybe they should use this black box tool of Master's theorem. Or Master theorem? Master theorem. I always said Master's theorem. And there's this speed up. Fine, so this is mainly a blog showing few problems on divide and conquer, including merge sort, which is fine. You should learn by solving. Is segment tree divide and conquer? Kind of. It's static divide and conquer. Maybe not static, but we make divide and conquer into some structure. Not just we do it and we forget. I wrote a blog on recursion. You can link it, but I will not check it out, I think. So this thing. I'm not researching a recursion today, though I need to, I think. I need to read and watch various resources how people explain recursion, but just not today. And also, your blog might be good, but because on average blogs by higher rated people are better, when I research some topic and I want to read and watch videos by others, I usually choose stuff by high-rated people, sadly. And because of that, for sure, sometimes I will miss good content made by a newbie. It's saving time. Conquer unevenly. I would prefer that divide and conquer block to be more about the even division. I think it's more common, and you should first learn that. Because if you find some position and break recursively here and there, I almost don't even call it divide and conquer. Maybe because you very rarely merge those two parts. For me, divide and conquer is always about splitting exactly in the middle. Yes, purple account counts as high rated. Even purple counts. Monogon said the same thing. Maybe I am Monogon. Did you see anything by Monogon? Did you see him and me in the same room? Maybe we are the same person. If we have other colors to show contribution, or there are many people in Codeforces who are low rated, but they are very good at algorithms and math. Like there is Knuf on the website. There are a lot of people extremely strong at math. Like even this blog with resources, the ultimate list, it's made by somebody yellow, whose rating is lower than his knowledge. So if I saw a blog by somebody yellow and red, by default I assume that the red one will be better, but it's not always the case. If color indicates not really contribution, but your skills and knowledge in some way, that would be better. There is Knuf in Codeforces? Yes, I think so. Either Knuf or some other guy like that, like on that level. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, yeah, sorry, not Knuf. No, Slater. Yeah, Danny Slater. Sorry, I was thinking about Danny. Sorry, no Knuf in Codeforces. My bad. So I guarantee you that everything this person writes is on average better than random stuff by red people. And if you just look by color, you will not realize that. Speed of coding is not everything, and Codeforces is heavily about the speed of coding. Yeah, he doesn't write blogs, but he writes comments, and also he wrote to me something about one of my blogs, I mean, in private messages. Alright, time to wrap this up. I had hour and 15 minutes, so I need to finish now. Nobody's streaming now. Let me tell you a little bit about plans for the coming weeks. I want to get back to block entry 0, yeah, but he has comments and private messages. Here's something about plan for future weeks. First thing is that yes, there will be regular streams. I don't know if there will be at Coder Hard, but for sure I want to do something such that every stream will be about one topic that I would announce in advance, rather than random problem solving. There will be also some chilled streams, so I don't know if at Coder Hard, but yeah, I know many people like them. But something topic-wise streams and something chill, like just learning stuff from Codeforces. Second thing is that I think I will do a stream on ICPC dress rehearsal. I don't have time on the day of ICPC finals. I have time on ICPC dress rehearsal. It might be fun, it might be interesting to make fun together of ICPC, because ICPC is a huge joke this year. Like, they do such absurd things, they don't care about participants at all. So I can just make a stream, not anything official. I'm not part of ICPC like organizers. Just a stream on ICPC Dress Rehearsal Day to watch it a little bit and make fun of them. So this, and obviously I'm aware that you also want short edu videos like on the main channel. I know, just they require time and a will to sit down and for many hours research something to describe this nicely. I also hope that ICPC next year is better and they treat it as something for participants rather than just business, where they don't really care and they don't announce anything in advance. Interviewbit.com? Not really, I checked it out. It's not better than LeetCode or binarysearch.com. ABC at Coder? I will not cover that. There are other people who can make videos and streams on beginner stuff. Absolute beginner stuff. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. Join the Discord server for discussion, not this Discord, to talk with the community and sometimes to suggest stuff. Have a nice evening or a day if you're in very, very different time zone. Bye chat. Thank you.